My dear friend, when we step into our 50s, then our 60s, and 70s, our bodies begin to speak to us in a different language. Not loud, not dramatic like when we were young, but in soft whispers. Sometimes a heaviness in the legs, sometimes a bit of numbness after sitting too long, and sometimes a sudden leg cramp that pulls you out of sleep in the middle of the night. There is something very important I want you to know, something many older adults have never truly been told. Between the ages of 50 and 80, our blood circulation naturally slows down. Blood flows down into the legs easily, but coming back up toward the heart becomes harder. And when blood lingers too long in the calves, those muscles don't receive the nourishment they once did. They become sensitive, quicker to tighten, quicker to react, especially at night. One of my patients, David, who is now 74, once told me, "Margaret, I don't understand. I'm fine during the day, but the moment I lie down, it feels like someone is squeezing my calf." Have you ever felt that way? It seems like such a small thing, yet it's enough to shatter your entire night. What's interesting is that our body isn't trying to punish us. It's trying to send us a message. As circulation slows with age, our muscles simply need more attention. Like an old friend who has walked beside us for decades but now moves a little slower and needs a gentler touch, a bit more patience, a bit more care. I remember a patient, Helen, 69 years old, who looked at me and said, "I didn't think my legs would grow old this quickly." I held her hand and replied, "It's not that your legs age quickly, it's that we haven't been paying close enough attention to how they work." You see, throughout our lives, our legs have carried us across countless roads, to work, to raise our children, to keep our families going, to move through busy days, and to stand firm through difficult seasons. And when you finally sleep at night, that is the first moment your legs get real rest. And that's when everything that has been building up, poor circulation, long hours of sitting, tight muscles, finally reveals itself. I want you to imagine this. A river, when young, rushes, flows, and pushes past every bend. But as time passes, the river softens, slows down. It doesn't lose its strength. It simply needs gentle guidance to keep moving. Your circulation is that river. When blood doesn't move well, the calves become the place where things settle. Those muscle fibers, already carrying the entire weight of your body all day, begin to tighten more easily. And when you lie down, your body relaxes, your nervous system calms. But the parts of your legs that didn't get enough blood react by squeezing tight, almost as if they're calling out, "Hey, please pay attention to me." I've met so many patients who think leg cramps are a small issue, but you and I both know when it hits at 2 or 3 a.m., it's anything but small. It makes you sit up, breathe hard, clutch the blanket, and even when the pain fades, sleep doesn't come back the same way. Sleep is often called the medicine of older adults, and when you lose it, you lose the day that follows. I once had an older gentleman joke with me, "Margaret, my legs work harder at night than they do during the day." We laughed, but then he looked down at his legs and said softly, "I just want one peaceful night." Have you ever wished for that? One peaceful night. No jolting awake, no pain, no fear. When circulation slows, when blood struggles to return to the heart, the body becomes more vulnerable. But here's what matters most. This is not the end of anything. It doesn't mean you're weak or that your health is slipping away. It simply means you've entered a new chapter, one where your body needs a gentler, more thoughtful kind of care. I often tell my patients, aging is a kind teacher. It teaches us how to listen. And if you're here watching this video, it means you're ready, ready to listen to your body, ready to make small changes that matter, ready to let your legs, those loyal companions of so many years, finally get the rest they deserve. In the next part of this video, I'll share not only why these cramps happen, but also what you can do to ease them. Simple, safe, effective steps I've used for more than 40 years, working with adults over 50. But before we move forward, I want you to place your hand gently on your calf for just a moment. Feel its warmth. Feel the life inside those muscles. And ask yourself, when was the last time I truly cared for these legs? If the answer is, I don't remember, then today we begin. My friend, if there's one thing I've learned after more than 4 decades working with adults over 50, it's this. The body always whispers before it screams. And when it comes to nighttime leg cramps, those whispers often begin in the calves, long before the painful tightening that wakes you up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Massage, gentle movement, simple stretching. These may sound like small things, almost too simple to matter. But I can tell you, with the honesty of someone who has walked beside hundreds of people your age, they are some of the most powerful tools we have. Not high-tech, not expensive, not complicated, but deeply effective. You see, our calves are storytellers. They remember every hour we spend sitting. They remember every long walk we used to take but no longer do. And they remember the years of carrying us through work, raising children, caring for family, facing life's storms, and celebrating its joys. One patient of mine, dear Mr. Howard, who is now 76, told me once, "Margaret, my legs are like 2 old friends who suddenly started complaining." And I smiled and said, "They're not complaining. They're just asking to be heard." Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a night when you were completely relaxed, maybe even drifting into sleep, when suddenly your calf tightened like a fist? You reached for your leg, tried to rub it, tried to breathe through it, maybe even stood up beside the bed just to make the pain stop? If you've been there, you are far from alone. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine your calf muscle as a long ribbon, soft, warm, flexible. Now imagine what happens when that ribbon is pulled tight, twisted, or left unmoved for hours. It becomes stiff. It loses warmth. It forgets how to soften. That is exactly what happens to the muscles in our legs when we sit too long, when circulation slows with age, or when the body grows tired from years of carrying us. And this is why massage becomes so important. I often teach my patients what I call the 2-minute evening massage. Not a fancy routine, not a spa technique, just slow pressure with your hands or even your thumbs along the calf, from the ankle upward. I've watched people melt, literally melt, under their own touch because they didn't realize how tense their legs had become. One of my sweetest patients, Anne, who is 68, told me after 2 weeks, "I didn't know my calves needed attention. I thought pain was just part of aging." And then she looked at me, her eyes soft, and said, "But it turns out my body was just waiting for me to come back to it." Massage wakes the muscle. It tells the calves, "You're safe. You can relax now." It increases warmth, blood flow, oxygen, all the things stiff muscles are starving for. And most importantly, it reminds the body that softness is still possible, even at 60, 70, or 80. Now let's talk about movement, gentle movement, the kind our bodies crave but are so often denied. We spend so much time sitting without even realizing it. Reading, watching TV, talking on the phone, scrolling through our tablets, doing puzzles, working on the computer. Hours pass, the muscles freeze. They forget their natural rhythm. Contract, release, contract, release. Sometimes I ask my patients, "How many minutes today did your calves actually move?" And they pause, they think. Most of them whisper, "Not many." That's when I remind them that a muscle that doesn't move becomes like a quiet door hinge. Stuck, stiff, waiting for someone to give it a gentle nudge. A short walk around the house, a few steps during commercial breaks, flexing the ankle forward and backward while sitting, even just lifting the heel while holding the kitchen counter. These small movements are like morning sunlight to the muscles. They wake the body. A gentleman named Paul once shared something that touched me deeply. He said, "I used to think exercise had to be hard, or it didn't count. I didn't know small movements were enough to change how my nights felt." And he was right. The studies are clear. Light movement lowers the chance of nighttime cramps dramatically because it restores blood flow, resets muscle tension, and helps the nervous system calm down. Then we come to stretching, the quiet magic many people underestimate. Stretching lengthens the ribbon. It teaches the muscle how to soften again. It gently reminds the body of space, of freedom, of flexibility. I always guide people to stretch with intention, not force. A stretch should feel like an invitation, not a demand. Hold it long enough for the muscle to trust you, maybe 20 or 30 seconds. Breathe into it as though you're breathing warmth into the tightest places inside you. I once told a patient, stretching is not about how far you go, it's about how deeply you pay attention. She later told me those words changed the way she moved. Not just her calves, but her entire life. All three tools, massage, gentle movement. Now that we've talked about why massage can make such a remarkable difference, I want to guide you through it, slowly, gently, the way I would if you were sitting right here in my clinic. So take a seat somewhere comfortable, a couch, your bed, even a sturdy chair in the living room. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath settle. This moment is for you. I want you to place one leg across the other so your calf is resting where your hand can reach it easily. Don't rush. Your body responds best when you move with patience. Now take your hands. Warm them together for a moment. Feel that heat? Your muscles love that warmth. It's like sunlight for the body. And when you're ready, place your hands on your calf. Start with slow strokes upward from your ankle toward your knee. Not too hard, not too soft. Imagine you're smoothing out a ribbon that's been folded for a long time. I want you to notice something as you do this. Your muscles will begin to wake up under your fingertips. You might feel small knots, little tender spots, places that feel stiff or tight. These are not flaws. They're simply areas where your muscles have been holding tension for far too long. A patient of mine, Sweet Maria, once said, "Margaret, I didn't know my legs carried so many secrets." And she was right. Our muscles keep every moment of our day. The moments we rushed, the moments we sat too long, the moments we ignored the signs our body was giving us. Now, when you find a spot that feels tense, don't avoid it. Stay there. Let your fingers sink in slowly, like they're melting into warm clay. Breathe. Just breathe. Press gently in small circles and allow the muscle to soften under your touch. If it feels good, stay longer. If it feels tender, lighten the pressure. You are the one in control. Massage should never be a battle. It should feel like reconciliation. Let your hands move around the entire calf, the inner side, the outer side, the center line. Each part has its own story. Each part deserves attention. I want you to imagine this. With every stroke you make, you're telling your muscles, it's okay. You can let go now. And you know what? Your muscles listen. They always do. Sometimes during sessions, I see my patients' faces soften, their shoulders drop, their eyes grow heavy. And I know at that moment, something inside them finally feels safe. One gentleman, Mr. Sanders, 70 years old, told me after a particularly emotional moment, "It feels like my legs have been waiting years for someone to touch them with kindness." That stayed with me because massage isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's grounding. It's a reminder that your body is still yours, still alive, still capable of comfort. Once you finish with one leg, switch to the other, gently, without hurry. You may notice one side is tighter, more reactive, or more sensitive than the other. That's perfectly normal. Our bodies are asymmetrical, just like our lives. As you work on the second leg, take a moment to observe how your breath feels. Is it deeper, softer? Do you feel warmth spreading through your calves? Do you feel more connected to yourself? This is the beginning of healing, not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet, steady healing that builds night after night. Now, once both calves feel warm, soft, alive again, sit quietly for just a few seconds. Let the moment settle. Your body is absorbing what you've done. Your muscles are remembering how to relax. Your nervous system is calming. Your circulation is opening. This, right here, is what reduces nighttime cramps. Not magic, not luck. Just presence, attention, and gentle care. In the next part, we'll move into stretching, the counterpart to massage, the movement that teaches your muscles how to stay open, stay long, stay peaceful throughout the night. But before we go there, I want you to place a hand on your leg again, just a light touch, and whisper to yourself, these legs have carried me far. Tonight, I choose to care for them because you deserve that care, and your body has been waiting for this moment longer than you know. Now that your calves are warm, softened, and awake again, this is the perfect moment to stretch. Stretching is like teaching the muscles a new language, the language of space, of length, of ease. I always tell my patients, massage calms the muscle, but stretching teaches it how to behave when you sleep. So let's do this slowly, together. Find a place where you can stand safely, maybe near your bed or beside a wall. Put one foot slightly behind the other, the back leg straight, the front leg gently bent. You've probably seen this position before, but today, I want you to feel it differently. Lean forward just a little, not forcing, just inviting. Let your back heel press into the floor and breathe. I want you to imagine your calf lengthening like a silk ribbon being slowly unrolled. No tugging, no strain, just a gentle release, the kind your body has been longing for. Hold this stretch with patience. Your muscle needs time to trust you, especially if you've lived many years without giving it this kind of attention. A patient of mine, Richard, he's 72, once told me, I used to stretch as if I were fighting my own body, and I nodded and said, that's why your body fought back. Stretching isn't a battle, it's a conversation, a slow, respectful one. Now, as you're holding this stretch, notice the sensations. Do you feel a soft pull behind your leg? Does the muscle feel like it's waking up from a long sleep? Does the tension ease as you breathe deeper? Stay here. Take one more breath, and then gently switch sides. Your other leg may feel different. One patient once joked, my right leg is 65, but my left leg is at least 90. And you know what? That's normal. Our bodies carry life unevenly. Injuries, habits, years of favoring one side without knowing it. So as you stretch the second leg, go slow. Meet it where it is, not where you think it should be. Let the heel sink into the ground again. Let the breath flow softly. Let the body open. Stretching, especially in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, isn't about reaching the deepest point. It's about finding the most peaceful point. I want you to notice something. When you hold this stretch long enough, about 20 or 30 seconds, you'll feel a subtle shift, as if the muscle sighs and lets go. That moment, that small, gentle release, is the key to preventing nighttime cramps. Because when your calves learn how to lengthen during the day, they are far less likely to contract violently at night. Now slowly return to standing. Let both feet rest firmly on the ground. Feel your weight evenly balanced. Feel the warmth in your legs. Feel the space that wasn't there before. A woman named Janet once told me, after stretching this way, my legs feel like they're breathing again. And she was right. Stretching opens the body the same way fresh air opens a room that's been closed too long. I want you to take a single step forward and notice how it feels. Is it easier, lighter, smoother? That's your body saying thank you. As we age, our muscles crave this kind of kindness. Not punishment, not pushing, just gentle, intentional care. Before we move to the closing part, I want you to remember this. Your calves are not the enemy. They are not betraying you. They are simply tired, overworked, understretched, and longing for just a few moments of your attention each day. Massage loosens the knots. Movement wakes the muscles. Stretching opens the space. Together, these three become a quiet medicine. A medicine your body still responds to beautifully, no matter your age. Now that you've stretched, now that your muscles feel alive again, let's take a moment to talk about what happens next. How to bring all of this into your nightly routine, and how to create the kind of evening your legs will thank you for. Let's walk into that softly in the next part.